and I want to thank everyone for joining us. This is great. Good evening, and welcome to our redox molecule animal webinar. It's Tuesday, March 26th, 2019. My name is Beth Wofford, and I'm a thoroughbred horse trainer from Lexington, Kentucky. A few housekeeping tips before we get started. We always have to cover these. They're very important. First, we ask that you do not record these. These are being recorded on your behalf, and they are archived at www.animalwebinar.com. There is now quite an extensive library there of many different animal webinars. So I encourage you to take a look there and share those with anyone you would like, but please do not record these yourself. These webinars take place at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific in the United States on the fourth Tuesday of every month. So mark your calendars accordingly. And finally, and probably the most important thing, please understand we do not make any medical claims of any sort with our products. We are in no way suggesting that you not call your vet or you ignore their advice should your animal need medical care. These molecules do not heal or cure anything, but they just simply help each and every living cell work the way that they were designed to work, which enables the body to heal itself. But also keep in mind that because there is zero toxicity and it's 100% safe, please feel free to use all these products in generous proportions with any animal that crosses your path, including yourself. So tonight we have an incredible treat in store for us. This is Solveig Tandberg calling in from Norway. It is 2 o'clock in the morning in Norway, and Solveig has been so kind. She is a very accomplished horsewoman. She's married to a professional horseman. They have been involved with horses their whole lives, and she is she has some terrific stories to share with us tonight about how ASEA has helped her horses. So she will give you more information about her background as she goes along. But Solveig, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough for sacrificing sleep to be on and share with us tonight.
Thank you for the introduction, Beth. Yes, it's kind of in the middle of the night here in Norway, but that will not stop me from sharing something so important both for animal and people. So I will share my experience with a technology called redox signaling molecules on horses. Beth had talked briefly about my background, and I have been around horses for more than 50 years. Oops, that makes it sound like I'm old, but I feel strong and young with a lot of it. Yeah, I was introduced to a technology called redox signaling molecules for about 5.5 years ago. I was told that my horse would perform better taking a supplement with redox molecules. I will explain a bit about my background later, but I was very skeptical to try this supplement on my racehorse. As you can see, this is a picture of me on the left side. It's winter in Norway, but of course we have to train. We do a lot of training in the winter. And on the right side, he's getting ready for the racing. As you can see, his coat is shiny, and he's really grown into be a very beautiful animal. Even though it's my horse, and I like to say nice things about my horse, he really is a nice horse. So we have been training racehorses for more than 35 years, and our goal is to train winners. The competition is getting really harder every year. People buy expensive horses, and even here in Norway, they import a lot of horses from other countries. And this horse that I'm going to talk about, his name is Vortex. He's a Norwegian bred horse, and he was not a very expensive horse. Actually, he was a cheap horse. He has a good pedigree, but as a yearling, he didn't look that very nice. as I said, the competition is getting harder every year, and we are always open to look at supplement and can have a positive effect on the performance of the horses. But it has to be legal according to the dope control we go through. So we were thinking about this a lot, but we decided to give it a try because we understood from the introduction that it was 100% safe and it could not harm my horse in any way. And the rest of the story I'm going to talk about now is like a fairy tale, and it's almost too good to be true. So this is Vortex. He has actually been winning 24 races, and that's quite a lot for a racehorse. In Norway, we race only in the summer because in the winter the track is full of snow and they cannot race on the snow. So Vortex was an average, good horse when we got him at the beginning of a 4-year-old season. He hadn't raced very much, but he was a fairly good horse. And when we started to give him these molecules, something happened. And since we have been around horses for many years, we know what to look for. And after being placed last, the 4 last races, when we gave him the redox molecules, he changed in a way. Before, he was like difficult to handle. He had a difficult temperament. He could be off food, and he was a lot of stiff after the trainings. So I could see from giving the molecules after 1 month that something was happening to him. And when he raced, after being on the redox molecules for a month, he won a first race for us. And this was something that just improved. And he kept improving every year. And he became one of the best horses in Scandinavia. One of his top performance was when he got placed among the best horses in the world when he was racing in Dubai. Because we were invited to run in Dubai at the maiden race course. If people know something about it, it's where the best horses in the world are racing together. And Vortex, my horse, he was flown over by the sheikhs. We stayed there the whole winter, and he got placed among the best horses in the world. What I can observe as a horse trainer is that this horse has stayed healthy for 4 tough seasons. It's hard to be a top athletic, and he is. What I also could see is that he recovered faster. He didn't get stiff after the race, and he doesn't get like lactic acid. He seems more happy, and he tolerates stress much better. Because many racehorses get intestinal problems because of stress and hard feeding. During the season, when we train, I give him 120 milliliters of the redox molecules. But maybe 2 or 3 days before the racing, I double the dose. And on the race day, I actually give him 4 times 120 milliliters. Some people think that since horses are so big, they have to give a lot, but actually I think horses are more clean. They don't eat so much bad food as a lot of people do, but I give him average dose, like 120 milliliters, and then increase it. This will also depend on the horse, but this is working for my horse. I put it into his mouth using a syringe. I tie him up so He's not eating for like 5-10 minutes, and he seems to love it. I experienced that give him these molecules makes him, digest the food better, and he really looks amazing. He has grown into being a big, powerful, strong horse. I also understood the importance of the pH, and giving him this supplement, I know that it will help him balance the pH. This is extremely important for everyone, and it makes a huge difference for top athletes like racehorses are. So now Vortex has, as I said, been winning 24 races. And horses winning races, they have to go to doping control a lot of times. And of course, Vortex has been there several times. So I feel safe giving it to him because these molecules are 100% safe to give, because this is something your own cells produces. We just supply the body with more. And healthy, strong cells is healthy, strong body. And it's really an amazing product. I highly recommend it for everyone to try. So I have some friends in the horse world, of course. And Malin, she's one of my close friends. She also have a horse called the Robin. And he got a bad injury on his upper lip. And as you can see on the left side, it's taken the 8th of February 2018. And when a horse gets problems there, it's difficult for them because they put their mule in the crib when they eat. And it's very easy to get infections and bacteria there. And they get very sore, and some horses also stop eating. So she had to take Robin, the horse, to the veterinarian, and the veterinarian had to put 13 stitches in Robin's upper lip. And Malin, she had heard my story about redox molecules, and this horse was also going to go to competition, so she didn't really want to give him anything that could influence, so she couldn't start him. It had to be clean. So she decided to give the molecules a try. And this is after 12 days, just using the topical redox molecules on the upper lip. And you can see the horse, Robin, he's very proud. He had no bacteria, no infection, and he was eating his food every day. And after 12 days, the vet could take the stitches out. And today, you can't even see it. So Robin was a very happy horse. So as I say, this is something I recommend for everybody to try. And so I come from a family where most of my brothers, sisters, they are doctor and dentist, but I choose to work with horses. As I said, I have been around horses for more than 50 years. But because I was raised in the medical field, I'm a very skeptical person, especially if it's not talking about drugs or medicine. But at the time I was introduced to ASEA for my racehorse, or the molecules for my racehorse, I also had health challenges. They say that horse people never get sick, but I did. And when your health is not working and you feel something you have to do on your own, you try everything. And I tried everything to get my health back. but I didn't find the missing link that could help me. But as I said, I'm very skeptical. But when I saw what happened to my horse, I understood that this was no placebo, because you cannot tell a horse to believe in anything. So I decided to give it a try. And this is one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I got my health back. And so I started sharing the products with people and animals. I believe this is something everybody deserves to know about. Today I work full-time, sharing the product and building teams of people helping me to do the same, so we can spread the technology around the world. And I can make a living while I can make a difference in both people and animals' lives. And they say that pictures says like a lot of words, but my horse also do the same. Vortex, my racehorse, now he's 10 years old, and he's still looking for a new season that will start in May. And he looks amazing. He has no problems, no injury. He's just getting better every year. So this was my story. I love to share my story. And I hope my story can have a meaningful life in both people and humans' life. So this is my experience for racehorses and a little bit about myself. And I hope this can make a difference in other lives too. So I just want to say thank you for listening, and I hope this was meaningful to all of you.
Solveig, that was wonderful. I would like to ask a couple questions before we sign off. So you said 120 milliliters. Those people in the United States, milliliters and cc's are the same thing. So when you're talking about a syringe, that would be 4 ounces. So your maintenance dose is 4 ounces. ASEA is not weight specific. So you don't have to say, okay, people take, a 150-pound person takes 4 ounces, so horses would have to take, 32 ounces. It's not weight specific. And no. Solveig has found the sweet spot for your horse, where his maintenance dose is 4 ounces a day. And then you can you increase that on his race days, or probably with his heavy works and things that you're doing, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, to put into perspective, to have a 10-year-old racehorse, a horse that's 10 years old and still really, really performing near the peak of his life, is absolutely remarkable in thoroughbred racehorses. That's just unheard of. So the fact that he has had such a long life and has had virtually no injuries and is feeling great and looks fabulous. Your pictures are wonderful. He looks like the picture of health. It's a very, very powerful story for anyone who has anything to do with horses, because we know how rare that is. Look at how lovely he is. He's just beautiful. He really is. So this is truly a remarkable story.
And what I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, in the horse world, racing world, they buy expensive horses. And the story of this horse is like, nobody wanted to buy him on the auction as a yearling because he did not look very good. So, I mean, he was the cheapest one on the auction because the way he looks. And when people look at him today, I mean, horse people, they're just amazed how he looks. And as you said, 10-year-old for a racehorse, he has been racing since he was a 2-year-old, and he's so fresh and strong and no problems. So, I mean, they cannot run forever. They cannot run forever, but as long as he's enjoy racing and he's mentally strong, and his legs are fine, and he's so fresh, and he's kind of getting fresher every year. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm not that young, but now he's getting almost too fresh for me. So I think he enjoys life. He loves the molecules.
I love that. This is so impressive, Solveig. Thank you so much for staying up so late to share this with us. And it's an absolutely fabulous story. And I can't be times over for my friends who are horse people, because it speaks volumes to see how well he's competing at this older age. And it's just remarkable. And I know that makes your heart swell, because there's nothing more important to us than our horses sometimes. And when you can see that he's in the peak of health and you can keep him that way with something that is so natural and so healthy, I think it's also a very good point to bring out for anyone who on the call or is listening to this that could possibly speak to other athletes. If you are speaking to athletes, sometimes showing them a webinar or a presentation about an animal athlete speaks louder than all the science and the criteria for human athletes, because I do think that humans can psych themselves out sometimes, but as you said, you can't talk a horse into anything. So sometimes this speaks volumes. And the fact that he has repeatedly been drug tested constantly because he wins so much. So he's always going to the receiving barn to be drug tested, and he's always tests clean because these products are so completely transparent when it comes to any kind of drug testing, because they're native to the body, so they don't show up in any drug test. So that's another thing that's very, very important for athletes to know. So you've hit so many highlights here tonight, and I really appreciate it so much. And now it's time for you to go to sleep and get some rest.
Yes, I will. No, I hope this will. Say this can be helpful for both people, animal. I mean, the placebo is not there, and that was important for me as a skeptical person. And I'm so happy I start using it on my horse.
Yeah, very good. I love it. And I thought that you're one of the very few people that says, it worked for my horse, so I thought maybe it would work for me too. Sometimes most people go the opposite direction, but I love that. As a horse person, I understand exactly what you mean, because we always try things. But if we find something safe and good, we try them on our horses first. So that's lovely. Thank you again. There was a really quick question that said, do you use the redox gel on his legs after he races?
I do sometimes because I think it's preventing. He hasn't had any problems, but yes, I do that.
I actually use that quite a bit in the barn. I work with very, very young horses, so they don't really need the supplement because they have a full complement of redox molecules in their bodies still because they're very young, but they do get bumps and bruises and scrapes and cuts, and I use the gel a lot in the barn. So I know how valuable that is. That's great. So we will say good night, and hopefully you can get off to sleep. And we, again, thank you so much. I can't tell you how valuable this will be for so many people. You've reached a lot of people tonight. So thank you again, Solveig.
Okay.
Okay, take care, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This will be posted soon on animalwebinar.com. Our next webinar will be on April 23rd. So hope to see you all then. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Night.